Ever wonder what AI thinks about Trump and Biden? Here are the answers. We start with ChatGPT. In this comprehensive analysis, we delve into the presidencies of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, examining the pros and cons of their policies, leadership styles, and their overarching impacts on the United States and the international stage. As two figures with profoundly different visions for America, their leadership has sparked widespread debate and discussion about the future direction of the country. Donald Trump, a bold and controversial presidency. Donald Trump's tenure as president was marked by an unorthodox approach that endeared him to many Americans while simultaneously alienating others. His administration prioritized economic growth, leveraging tax cuts and deregulation to stimulate the economy. These policies, proponents argue, led to a booming stock market and historically low unemployment rates prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. A hallmark of Trump's presidency was his firm stance on immigration. By advocating for the construction of a border wall and implementing strict immigration policies, Trump aimed to safeguard American jobs and reduce illegal immigration. This approach was central to his America First ideology, resonating with supporters who sought stronger national security and immigration reform. However, Trump's presidency was not without its challenges and controversies. His efforts to dismantle the Affordable Care Act raised significant concerns about the potential loss of health care coverage for millions of Americans. Additionally, his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic was widely critiqued. Critics argue that his reluctance to embrace scientific recommendations and inconsistent messaging contributed to the United States' struggles in managing the crisis. On foreign policy, Trump's presidency represented a departure from traditional American diplomacy. His decisions to withdraw from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal were seen by supporters as moves to assert American sovereignty and prioritize national interests. Yet, these actions also sparked debate about their long-term effects on global leadership and international relations, with detractors warning of eroding alliances and global standing. Joe Biden, a presidency focused on unity and restoration. Joe Biden's election heralded a return to more conventional political leadership, characterized by an emphasis on unity, tackling the COVID-19 pandemic, addressing climate change, and expanding access to healthcare. His administration's response to the pandemic, focusing on accelerating vaccine distribution and enhancing federal coordination, has been praised for its commitment to science and public health. A central element of Biden's presidency is his dedication to combating climate change. By rejoining the Paris Agreement and proposing significant investments in green technology, Biden aims to reassert American leadership in global efforts to mitigate climate change. These initiatives not only seek to address environmental concerns, but also promise to spur economic growth through the creation of renewable energy jobs. Biden's economic policies reflect a commitment to stimulating the economy, while addressing systemic issues like inequality. His support for increasing the federal minimum wage and proposing a substantial infrastructure bill aims to build a more inclusive economy that benefits all Americans. Moreover, his healthcare agenda seeks to build on the Affordable Care Act, aiming to increase accessibility and affordability of healthcare across the nation. Immigration remains a complex challenge for the Biden administration, with ongoing debates about how to manage border security and immigration reform effectively. While striving for a more humane approach than his predecessor, Biden faces criticism over the handling of migrant surges and the implementation of asylum policies. In foreign affairs, Biden has focused on mending alliances and re-engaging with international institutions. His nuanced approach towards adversaries like China and Russia attempts to balance competition with cooperation, addressing global challenges such as cybersecurity and climate change while safeguarding American interests. Comparing visions, the Trump and Biden administrations. The contrast between Donald Trump and Joe Biden's presidencies offers a stark illustration of the divergent paths America can take. Trump's approach, characterized by bold economic measures, stringent immigration policies, and a reassessment of international engagements, reflects a vision of American independence and strength. His presidency underscored a populist movement that questioned the status quo and sought to redefine America's role on the world stage. Conversely, Joe Biden's tenure is marked by efforts to restore traditional governance, prioritize public health, address climate change, and strengthen global alliances. His policies underscore a belief in the power of unity, diplomacy, and a government that seeks to serve all its citizens. As we evaluate the impacts of these two administrations, it becomes clear that their policies have not only shaped the domestic landscape, but also America's relationship with the rest of the world. The debate over which direction is best for the nation continues, with each administration's supporters and critics offering differing visions for America's future. The road ahead. Reflections on leadership and legacy. The presidencies of Donald Trump and Joe Biden highlight the dynamic nature of American politics and the profound impact presidential leadership can have on the country and beyond. As we look to the future, the discussions sparked by their policies and approaches will undoubtedly influence political discourse for years to come. In examining Trump versus Biden, we are reminded of the diverse perspectives and values that define the United States. The ongoing dialogue between differing viewpoints is a testament to the vibrant democracy that shapes America. As citizens and observers, our engagement with these discussions helps to forge the path forward, shaping the legacy we leave for future generations. Here is Copilot from Microsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the political arena where two titans clash, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Let us delve into their contrasting stances, their pros and their cons. Donald Trump, the real estate mogul turned president, strides onto the stage. Healthcare. Pros. Trump advocates for dismantling the Affordable Care Act, commonly known as Obamacare. He believes in allowing insurance to be sold across state lines and making premiums tax-deductible. His vision includes individual health savings accounts, HSAs, and Medicaid block grants to states. Cons. Critics argue that this approach could leave vulnerable populations without adequate coverage. Abortion. Pros. Trump has shifted his stance over time. Currently, he supports outlawing abortions except in cases of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is at risk. He also favors non-abortion services provided by organizations like Planned Parenthood. Cons. Some view his position as restrictive, particularly regarding reproductive rights. Immigration. Pros. Trump's hardline approach includes building a wall along the Mexican border, tripling the number of ICE officers, and deporting all criminal aliens. He aims to defund sanctuary cities and end birthright citizenship. Cons. Critics argue that such policies may harm families and communities and fail to address the complexities of immigration. Global warming. Pros. Trump has expressed skepticism about global warming, even suggesting it was a Chinese invention. He aimed to renegotiate America's role in climate agreements. Cons. His stance has drawn criticism from environmentalists who advocate for urgent action to combat climate change. Now let's shift our focus to Joe Biden, the seasoned senator and former vice president. Healthcare. Pros. Biden supports ensuring all individuals under 21, allowing families to buy into the state children's health insurance program, SKIP, covering children and families up to 3 times the poverty level. He aims to create a pool of private plans similar to those for federal workers. Cons. Critics worry about the cost and feasibility of such expansive healthcare proposals. Abortion. Pros. Biden strongly supports Roe v. Wade and reproductive rights. However, he opposes public funding for abortion. He voted in favor of a federal ban on so-called partial birth abortions. Cons. Some pro-life advocates find his position concerning. Immigration. Pros. Biden supports a path to legalization for undocumented immigrants, emphasizing learning English and paying fines. He aims to toughen penalties for employers who hire undocumented workers and create a guest worker program. Cons. Critics argue that his approach may encourage illegal immigration. Global warming. Pros. Biden proposes a 5-year, $50 billion project for energy and climate change research. He wants to finance alternative energy sources and technologies. He opposes domestic drilling offshore and in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Cons. Skeptics question the feasibility and economic impact of such ambitious plans. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The battle of ideologies, the clash of visions. As the curtain falls, remember that every choice has its consequences. Choose wisely, for the future awaits. Here is Gemini from Google. I'm still learning how to answer this question. In the meantime, try Google search.